Hello Squirrel Nation, I hope you're all having an outstanding day. Today we are going to cover a topic that has been in the back of my mind. At the beginning of the year, I wrote an article about the things that I hope to see the AoV developers implement, and today is kind of an extension. So basically, to give a little background, I kind of went down a YouTube hole and I ended up at this particular video by the Jimquisitions, and he talks about video game developers turning players into payers. And something about this really struck a note with me because of just some of the things that I see happening in Arena of Valor. So one example is we recently know for NA players that ALG disbanded. So that was the top North American team and they disbanded. I think that was kind of something that's a bad sign. Another thing is Shurko, who is a very popular content creator for Arena of Valor. He's somebody that I watched since I began playing the game and I really admire. He's actually taking a break from the game because he's just getting frustrated with it, and there may be other things. I haven't super followed the situation. I just saw it on Reddit and I was quite surprised. So anyways, it started making me question this myself. Why is it that a really top level content creator, a really top player, Shurko is a EU pro, why is he becoming discontent with the team? So I started going through my thoughts, and this is basically where I ended up just kind of outlining my thoughts and how I feel about AoV. And the goal of today's video is to start a discussion. I'm not saying there's right or wrong. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I'm just saying these are kind of my feelings. These are the thoughts that have come out of me, and I'm really curious to see what you and the audience think. Like, do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree? Yeah, and let's just have a little discussion and kind of see where we all feel about AoV. Okay, anyways, why should you care? Well, we all should care because we all are vested in Arena of Valor. So basically, we've given our time, we play the game hours a day, we give our money, we buy skins, we buy heroes, right? In my case, I'm a content creator. If Arena of Valor grows and thrives, my channel will grow and thrive. If the game dies, my channel will die. So anyways, we all have our vested interest in Arena of Valor. So now let's go to this concept. I told you I ended up on that video. Businesses have these new tools that have been coming about. So when I was doing my undergraduate degree, I took a course in behavioral economics, and I will always remember the professor. His name was Dan Ackland, and just a great personality and just a really good guy, okay? And another thing is machine learning, and I'll kind of touch on how I think those two things intersect. The reason they intersect is behavioral economics is essentially you are modeling how people truly behave and look, and a lot of these behaviors and the way that they evaluate the world, humans have a lot of cognitive bias built into them. So our brains don't necessarily make the most logical choices because we let emotions and other things cloud our judgment. I don't think that's anything people find super surprising or will argue against, but I really love this field of economics because it takes those things into account. Machine learning is, you hear about AI machine learning, but it's basically an algorithm that when given data, when given an input, it learns to make better and better decisions based on the input that it receives. So in video game terms, it could be how long you spend in the game every day, it could be what hours you play, it could be if you won or lost, it could be your kill to death ratio. They could be looking at all of these things, and I'll give some concrete examples of how that could be used in a video game later. So here is why I bring up Professor Ackland, is because of this. He pointed out one thing at the end of the semester that I will always stay with me for the rest of my life. He said that becoming rich is hard, okay? But there are two ways that you can go about it. You can become rich by preying on human weakness and taking advantage of their flaws, their deficiency, their human weakness. And it's hard to become rich, but it's a lot easier to become rich that way than it is to make the world a better place and become rich. And I think all of us have encountered that time, and you've felt this, right? You've felt people who have made the world a better place and become rich, and you've also felt those people who they hold a moral low ground. You almost say to yourself, like, I would never do what you did, even if it resulted in the amount of money you have. So to me, those are the two paths, and he pointed this out. Okay, the reason I bring that up is there is this company called Scientific Revenue, and they use machine learning to optimize the profit that a mobile game makes on its users. Okay, so it comes down to what way are they making money, and I'm going to let you watch this video real quick explaining their service.
And the cost to acquire new players keeps going up. To have any chance of turning players into payers, game developers need to get their in-app purchases right. But different people respond to different prices at different times. So why offer the same prices to everyone all the time? To boost revenue, you need deep insights into your players and the ability to customize prices for each. What if you could deliver the right price at the right time for the right buyer? Scientific Revenue lets you stay focused on what you do best, making great games. We deliver dynamic pricing that increases conversion, reduces churn, and boosts the lifetime revenue of your app. Our plugin easily integrates into your game and common game development environments, where it captures hundreds of data points that inform purchase decisions. With predictive analytics and machine learning, our dynamic pricing engine analyzes pricing signals, segments players in real time, and automatically delivers targeted pricing.
Okay, I want to pause there. I think you can all feel the gist of what this company does. Okay, now I'm going to tell you why this is really scary to me, and I am really not a fan of this. And I think a reason that people have such a bad taste in their mouth about mobile games versus traditional like PC games is because they are so microtransaction heavy. Okay, so now imagine this. Let me give you a concrete example of this, how this would work. So you're playing a game, you have a 5-game losing streak. And your 5-game losing streak is because the enemy Quillen has stomped you. Okay, you have played against 5 consecutive enemy Quillen, and those Quillen have absolutely destroyed. Let's say they've gone 10-0 and 20, right? Some crazy stat line. So what's going to happen is this application will pick up on that. And then what it will do is it will target an advertisement at you, and it'll say, hey, this player just got pub stomped by a Quillen 5 games in a row. This is a great time to sell this player Quillen. So then all of a sudden it pops up and it says, hey, one-time discount to buy Quillen right now. And then guess what? There's a lot of players who are going to buy. So anyways, this is my open question to everybody listening. Do you want your data, your combat history, all the stuff that you're looking on this screen, your level in the game, your location, your income level, all that stuff, do you want that to be used to upsell you, right? To get you to spend more money on Arena of Valor? Is that the type of game is that the type of company that you want to support with your money? Okay, so onto that, the question in my mind becomes, is Tencent making our lives better or preying on our weaknesses? So far I've shown you what I consider preying on the weakness is in terms of mobile gaming, which is that company. But the question is still open, is Tencent using those type of methods, or are they making the world better? And I think games can make the world better. I know it seems weird to say games and make the world better, but they can, because games give us all an outlet. To me, games are something that let me relieve my life stress. When I have a bad day, they just let me get all that negativity out. So then when I come back to my family, when I go to interact with my friends, I can bring that positivity that they expect from me and not just be in a pissed off mood and just upset for the whole day and just kind of take it out on the people around me. So anyways, we're moving on. So now kind of let's look at what Tencent does. So let's look at their actions. So installment plan. Is this something that preys on our weakness, or is this something that is making the world better or making our enjoyment from Arena of Valor higher? To me, this is 100% preying on our weakness, and I will tell you why. Okay, so behavioral economics is back to tying it in. There is 2 concepts. There's an endowment effect and present bias, okay? The endowment effect is essentially when people own something, they will spend more money to maintain ownership than they would spend to buy that item in the first place, okay? So let's go back to this Croc example real quick. What it's saying is that once you purchase the Grok item in that first week, okay, so when I buy it today for 99 vouchers, I now own, in my mind, I own that Grok skin. And now, instead of paying, let's say, 1,000 vouchers, I would actually be willing to pay 1,600 vouchers to keep this Grok skin, because I've already invested into it, and now in my mind, it is something that I own. A real life example of this that many of you are probably familiar with is sports, right? If you go to any sports forum, you will always see this. you overvalue your players, right? The team that you are attached to. In my case, it's the Warriors, right? So I love basketball and I love the Golden State Warriors. I attended their game before they were good. I attend them all through everything. I love the team, right? I do overvalue the players. If we're going to make a trade with another team, I always think that my players on Golden State are better and more valuable than on the opposing team's star players. So that's a real life example. Sorry. And so present bias. Present bias is essentially humans put value on things in the present more than they put value on the things in the future, okay? So as time goes on, we discount things, and this is how it applies. Everybody would choose $1 today over $1 tomorrow. I don't think there's anybody who would argue that. But the thing becomes that you will actually take percentage differences. So you'll take $1 today as opposed to $1.50 a year from now, right? There's not many people who argue about that. And it is surprising how much people will discount the future, meaning it's surprising how much of a discount they will take. And just ask yourself, pause for a minute and think. If I said I'll give you $1 today, or I'll give you how much in a year? How much would I have to give you in a year for you not to take the $1 today? And you may be very surprised by your answer. Okay, so now let's combine those two cognitive bias that exist, right? And then you look at this installment plan, and now you can see what I mean by, and my Professor Ackland meant by, making money by taking advantage of people's weakness. So one, they've given present bias. Why is it only costs 99 vouchers the first week and then every subsequent week is much higher? That's because they're using your present bias. They know that you won't pay 240 vouchers today. So they say, okay, we only want you to pay 99 vouchers today. Very cheap up front. Because as soon as you spend that 99, now the endowment effect kicks in and you feel that you own this skin and you will actually be willing to spend 240 vouchers the next weeks, okay? So that's a prime example to me of them taking advantage of our weakness. Okay, another thing, secondary currency. Okay, secondary currency is, why do they do this? Why do they not just tell us that this Croc skin, okay, this Croc skin, right? Why don't they just tell us it's $15, okay? Well, it's because your whole life you've been conditioned on the value of $1, right? $1 means a can of soda, $1 means a candy bar, $1 means a bunch of things. And it has an emotional attachment inside of you. But when I tell you 100 vouchers, that sounds completely different. You don't have those attachments. You don't have that emotional feel about what 100 vouchers means, right? So that's one reason they do it. The other reason they do it is, if you notice, this Croc skin costs 1,600 vouchers, right? And you'll see this in many aspects of the game. They cost these weird amounts that you can't just directly buy. So I can't just buy the Croc skin for, let's say, it'd be what, I don't know, $15. Okay, they won't just let me spend $15. Instead, I'm actually gonna have to purchase $20 worth of vouchers, and then I'm gonna have some left over, okay? And whether you are a pessimist like me or an optimist, I think the pessimistic view, actually I'll just give you my pessimistic view, is they are very precise about where they set these voucher levels so that we have just enough left over to not quite be able to buy what we want, okay? So for instance, we buy the Croc skin for 1,600 vouchers, and then we purchase $20 of vouchers, which means we have 900 vouchers left, yes? And 900 vouchers will not quite buy us a brand new hero, because a brand new hero costs just 1,199 vouchers, right? So we'll be about 200 vouchers short. These things are, well, really we'll be about 300 vouchers short. But anyways, these things are calculated. This is what the company is doing, in my opinion. Anyways, on to the next thing, gambling. Okay, there are hidden gambling and there are explicit gambling. So if you go to Vegas, right, on the slot machines, they have to tell you what your chance of winning the jackpot are, okay? And I have heard, and I'm not sure how this legally works, but I have heard that in the US, Apple is mandatory to tell what the odds are. And if you think of the lucky draw in the top left here, they do tell us, we know that we have a 5% chance to obtain a hero or a skin, okay? So the expectation is if we play 20 times, we will get one hero or one skin. Okay, but they don't tell us how does it affect when I already own Violet, right? Does it increase the odds, or does it just actually reduce my odds of winning the skins or heroes? We don't know. Okay, so another thing is these boxes. So if you look at the bottom right and we look at the Spring Festival chest, right, or the Natalia Leo chest. Okay, well, I know how much the skin cost me to buy because you can see right here the skin is 1,199 vouchers. But what is my chance of getting the skin if I buy the box, right? Because, and these are hidden, and actually, maybe somebody in the comments can tell me where they do show this information, but I think it's already shady business that they don't show it directly when I click on the box. So when I click on the box, what I think it should say is it should say Natalia Leo skin 1% chance. Because then I know, okay, 1% chance, so I need to buy 100. 100 times this 30. Okay, I need to spend 3,000 vouchers to get the skin that I want. Is that worth it when I can just spend 1,200 vouchers to get the skin? You know, there's an argument to be made. I'm not going to go more into it. Once again, I think gambling is personally a shady thing. I think it is a business that's taking advantage of human weakness. I think the same of drug, alcohol, smoking, things that can addict people. I don't think they're a good way to make money in the world. Okay, so next thing is new heroes are OP. I do not think this is arguable. If you look at any tier list, these are the 10 most recent heroes that have been released. I will be shocked if you look at any tier list that does not have at least 8 of these in S tier, okay? So is this shady? Is this not? Okay, well, the shady argument becomes this, is you release OP heroes so that we all have to buy them to be relevant in the meta, and then you nerf them once enough people have bought them, making them irrelevant so that we have to buy the new OP heroes. Okay, so that would be the pessimistic argument. The more optimistic argument is, you know, I love that they're releasing all these new heroes. They just have fun mechanics. People win more on them and do better with them because they're just exciting to play and they liven up the game, right? So on this one, I think this is the most debatable point that I am putting out. But at the same point, to me, I think they intentionally release these OP heroes so that people have to buy them to compete and be relevant. One other thing I want to point out on the heroes is I am increasingly disliking the design of new heroes, right? If I start at Roxy and I work my way up, the heroes have become progressively more dominant, and more dominant in a way that is so unenjoyable to play against, okay? Elsu is extremely unenjoyable to play against in a solo queue environment. If he is on your team, he is either awesome and he stomps the enemy team, or he is terrible and you absolutely have a much reduced chance of winning. Same thing for Quillen. Okay, Quillen stomps or he is so terrible he's uncarryable. Florentino, same, right? Richter, same. Like, so hopefully you get my point. The heroes are becoming to the point where it's like when they're good, they're just unkillable gods who will carry games. When they're bad, they just absolutely sink your team. I just don't like that design. Roxy, on the other hand, right? She is more balanced. She's still a very strong hero, but she's not somebody that I'm sitting there enraging because I just went on a 5-game lose streak because I played a Roxy who was insanely good, right? So, anyways. On to the next point. Money over players' enjoyment. Okay, so this is a very interesting video about, and Steve Jobs kind of explains why marketers end up running companies over time. So, another video, let's watch this.
Like with John Scully. John came from PepsiCo, and they at most would change their product, you know, once every 10 years. I mean, to them, a new product was like a new size bottle, right? So if you were a product person, you couldn't change the course of that company very much. So who influenced the success of PepsiCo? The sales and marketing people. Therefore, they were the ones that got promoted, and therefore, they were the ones that ran the company. Well, for PepsiCo, that might have been okay, but it turns out the same thing can happen in technology companies that get monopolies, like, IBM and Xerox. If you were a product person at IBM or Xerox, so you make a better copy or a better computer. So what? When you have a monopoly market share, the company's not any more successful. So the people that can make the company more successful are sales and marketing people, and they end up running the companies. And the product people get driven out of the decision-making forums. And the companies forget what it means to make great products. Sort of the product sensibility and the product genius that brought them to that monopolistic position gets rotted out by people running these companies who have no conception of a good product versus a bad product. They have no conception of the craftsmanship that's required to take a good idea and turn it into a good product.
Okay, so to be fair, up front, he is talking about companies with monopolies. But I think the general Steve Jobs is presenting there in the video we can apply to Arena of Valor and other games and other industries that don't have monopolies. And here's the reason why. He pointed out something that was just extremely on the money, which is the people who get promoted in companies are the ones who bring in revenue, okay? If I am in sales and I learn how to do this installment plan Grok skin, and all of a sudden Grok skin starts selling 300% more than they used to, guess what? I am likely to be up for promotion based on my genius marketing strategy, okay? On the other hand, if you are a programmer who you got rid of a bug that's been driving all of us crazy, let's say the Zill Ultimate, right? And you're the developer who fixed that Zill Ultimate. Maybe it made 1,000 of us just have a more enjoyable gaming experience, right? So it brought joy to us, but at the same time, it did not result in revenue to the company because we already own Zill, so we're not going to buy. Maybe some new people buy Zill, but it's not going to be that many, right? So there's that, right? You end up promoting the people who look how to take money out of our pockets and get us to spend more, and you kind of put people who are really making the game better and more enjoyable on the back burner. Okay, that's how I think that dynamic plays out in that way. So what's the opportunity cost of marketing? Meaning, a company only has so much money. They can spend it on a sales team, they can spend it on a PR team, they can spend it on the developers, right? But they have a finite amount of money to spend, okay? So when you're hiring the best marketers, the best sales team, when you're sharing your money with companies like Scientific Revenue, right, who make these systems to prey on people's habits and weaknesses, then that's money that you're not spending on developers to go fix bugs or to add new features to the game, right? And if we look at AoV, the state of AoV, where are they spending money? To me, they're spending money on marketing and sales because those tend to be new things. The Codex is a sales tool, okay? I don't think anybody will argue against that. Installment plan, sales tool, right? These things, sales tools. Skins, they're new things to sell. New heroes, new things to sell. Do I like new heroes? Do I like new skins? Yes, I do. I love them. But there's other things that this game is lacking that I think will make people have a much better time playing Arena of Valor. I think will make Arena of Valor a much more well-rounded game than continually introducing new OP heroes that they have to buy, and if they don't buy, they're going to fall behind. Okay, so what are they? Here's my wish list. And I will link the article that I wrote that kind of goes through these a little bit more, and I'm also going to link all the resources that I went through in this video in the comments, so check that out. So, role queue, okay? The top MOBAs in the world are PC, League of Legends, and Dota, okay? They both have role queues. There's a reason they have role queues, okay? Dota, I know for sure, has an MMR system. LOL, I'm not as familiar with League of Legends, but these are things that the top games of your genre have. Why do you not have them? Right? Why does Arena of Valor not have them? And I will tell you why. Because Arena of Valor is selling rank, okay? And Arena of Valor likes the fact that you have to grind for your rank, okay? In an MMR system, a pro player could play 50 games and they are going to end up very close to where they belong MMR-wise, okay? But if you took the top AoV player in the world, they are not going to end up at the top of the Conqueror list by playing 50 games. Why? Because it's a grind fest. They have to grind. It's not based on their skill. It's based on how much they play. If you take two players with equal skill, okay, and you let one of them play 100 games a month and you let the other one play 1,000 games a month, the one who plays 1,000 games is going to end up with a significantly higher rank or cumulative stars, okay? That is just the reality of the system. The system is bad. Why does this matter? I don't really care that people climb the ranks. What I care about is bad matchmaking. I complain about matchmaking. Everybody complains about matchmaking, right? And my guess is Shurko is feeling these type of things. He's getting sick of matchmaking. He's getting sick of having people insta-lock marksman and jungle and not want to support, not want to tank, right? all these things could be fixed, or not all of them, but a vast majority of the things that are most toxic about Arena of Valor could be fixed if Tencent would spend the money to develop these new features, right? And these are not world-breaking features. These are features that already exist in a plethora of other games, and they can easily go copy their functionality, right? So anyways, I'm not going to go too deep into all of them. Another thing is normalizing the power curve. What I mean by this is that the roles are not even, okay? A jungler, a marksman has more power to influence the outcome of a game than a support or a tank, okay? So what's the result? People want to play marksman. People want to play junglers. That's why you have 3 insta-locks onto marksman. That's why you have people fighting for junglers every single game. Because they don't trust the other people, and they want to have the most control, the most ability to influence the outcome of the match that they're in. This creates toxicity. Okay, the reporting system is a joke. You could literally carry a team and get reported. You could go 20-0-10 and you could get reported by your team for AFKing, and you will actually get reduced points because the system is a joke and it's based on how many times you're reported. So anyways, joke. Solution to me would be do some sort of review system where you submit the game for review to other players, right? This company doesn't even have to pay money for this. They can do a tribunal, which other games have implemented. So basically, I would volunteer to be on the tribunal. When somebody is reported, the gameplay would be submitted to me. I'd review it and I'd say, yes, this person was AFK, or yes, this person was trolling, okay? So you could have a system like that. Spending money to grow a player base. This one really scares me because Arena of Valor, I don't think any of you will argue, especially after this video, they are looking for ways to make more money off of their player base, okay? So they're looking for ways to make more money off the EU, NA players, Asia, everything, right? They're looking for more ways to make money. But are they spending money to grow the player base, right? Are they spending money to actually attract more people to the game? Okay, and no, not comparatively to other games, right? Brawl Stars is an up-and-coming game. I see tons of advertisements for it. Mobile Legends, I see tons of advertisements for it. I never see advertisements for Arena of Valor. Okay, they don't spend money to grow the player base. That's why there are major queue issues on certain servers. Okay, so to me, the reason that that's scary, and this is a major red flag, is because if you have a game that, and this goes back to the Steve Jobs video, right? If you have a company that you think has no future potential for major growth, right? So in his case, he's saying a monopoly. If you have a monopoly and your company is not going to grow from new innovation or, right, improving your product, then how are you going to grow your revenue? You're simply going to start looking for ways to make more and more money off of the people, the customers you already have. And I think the fact that Tencent does not spend money to grow the player base is their signal to us as the player base that we don't want to attract new people to the game because we don't even think they care about the game, and we don't think that we can attract new players to the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the existing players happy as long as we can, and we are going to learn how to best extract money out of their wallet and put it into ours as we can before they realize that this game is dead, and then move on. Okay? So that's my last argument for this. I know this is going to be a controversial video. I'm sure people are going to agree with me. I'm sure there's going to be people who don't agree with me. I look forward to all of it. Please leave all your comments in the comments below. And I want to make one thing clear. Am I saying that I'm done with AoV? Am I saying that the game is going to die? No, I'm not. The reason I'm making this video is because I don't want these things to happen. I love Arena of Valor. I want Arena of Valor to succeed. I've obviously attached myself to Arena of Valor and my future success to it. So I obviously don't want the game to die, but at the same time, I think it's very important to confront the issues rather than hide from them and ignore them, okay? And there have been a lot of red flags coming out of Arena of Valor and the community that I think need to be addressed by us, or else it's going to be too late by the time we finally decide to say something. Anyways, I hope you all have an outstanding day, and as always, take care and good luck.